Hi, welcome everyone. I can see there's a few people entering the room now, which is wonderful. We'll just give you a minute to join in this fantastic session. So my name is Anne Quain and I'm broadcasting live from the JD Stewart building right now. As we speak, it's kind of a quiet place at 8 o'clock at night, but Glenn is working industriously in his office next door. First, I want to acknowledge the land of the Gadigal people on which I'm coming to you from, and acknowledge their elders past, present, and emerging. On behalf of the alumni and supporter experience team, I want to extend a heartfelt thank you to this year's mentors for taking part in this important program and for generously offering your time and supporting our students. We have an incredible 91 mentor and mentee pairs this year, which is a record. Mentoring plays a crucial role in personal and professional development for our students, and its importance cannot be overstated. By sharing your personal experiences and insights, you're making a direct impact on knowledge transfer, confidence, career advancement, and developing those key soft skills for our students to take into the workforce. The team hope you find this experience fulfilling and rewarding, and that you enjoy building meaningful relationships with your mentees throughout this 12-month program. And I do want to say, if you haven't heard from your mentee mentors, please feel free to reach out. They have been a little preoccupied with some exams. So the mentors and mentees have been hand matched based on at least one of three common professional or personal interests. And I didn't use AI. I did all of this by hand, so it took a little while. So please, when you catch up with each other, maybe talk to each other about what your interests are and see where those matches might be. Mentees, please contact your mentors regularly, at least once a month. Mentors, you can contact your mentees absolutely if you don't hear from them. Please respect each other's confidences. Professional development is a really personal journey, and these relationships work best when people feel safe to disclose important experiences. And I guess I do have to say it, it's not usually a problem at all, but I have to say, please don't engage in a romantic relationship with your mentee or mentor. This is a collegial relationship. It's designed for mentors to support mentees. Mentees, you're also bringing your fresh eyes and enthusiasm to the table, and that's really important. Mentors are really keen to hear what you're up to. The most common problem in the program is when mentors and mentees get too busy. And look, that happens, life happens. But if that happens, please don't be embarrassed that you've taken a little while to get back to someone. Just get back in touch and reconnect. Now, you're not going to hear very much from me tonight, because tonight we have a guest speaker, and this year's DVM3 requested them. And who better to extract the best tips from our speaker than DVM3 student, Drew Wilson. Drew comes to the world of veterinary medicine from the world of performing arts. He's a trained actor, puppeteer, and writer, and has been fortunate to travel the world with his love for storytelling, stage, and screen. Training to be a vet may seem like a huge leap, but for Drew, it makes complete sense, combining his love for medicine, animal science, and his addiction to stepping out of his comfort zone. That's going to come in handy, Drew, in your career. He loves surgery and animal behavior, and one day would like to own his own practice. But first, he just wants to be a good vet. So, Drew, I'm going to hand over to you.
Great. Thank you, Anne. I'm very excited to be able to participate in the mentoring program. And I know that tonight's Q&A will be immensely valuable to all the DVM3s. I hope that are about to jump into their clinical rotations and then beyond. So I'm very happy to be interviewing and asking questions of the guy that's been invited to answer them, and that is Dr. Arpan Mann, a recent DVM graduate. Last year, he was a student, and he's been out in the industry for 9 months. He was originally from Victoria and decided to move back to Victoria following graduation, and he's now working at Broadford Veterinary Clinic. It's a rural small animal practice just north of Melbourne in central Victoria. So for those who don't know where it is, if you head up the Hume Highway from Melbourne, it's about half the way, not quite to half the way to Shepparton. So, welcome Arpan to the Mentor Mentee Q&A.
Hello, thank you for having me.
It's our pleasure. Now, I've got a whole bunch of questions that so the DVM3s have compiled. They put them in a big package, and I'm just going to fire them at you, and you're going to get them all correct for us, please. So,
Okay.
yeah, they're mostly actually because we just had today our last lecture for the entire
Yeah,
degree, I think. Um, and so everyone's kind of a little bit high on that. And so
awesome.
we're about to leap into DVM4. And yeah, so there's a lot of excitement about it, but then there's also many, many questions around that. So um, let's talk about you for a minute. Please tell us a bit about who you are and tell us about Broadford Veterinary Clinic and what you do there.
Yeah, so hey everyone, my name's Arpan. I am a recent graduate. I started working at Broadford Veterinary Clinic at the beginning of the year, around February. It's a small animal practice. And I work alongside two very experienced vets. So I'm the little baby of the clinic, but I get great support from the other two. One of them is very experienced in surgery, and the other is very experienced with medicine. So I get the best of both worlds to learn from. But it's been an um, exciting first year so far, where I've gotten to learn just so much, and I'm looking forward to just continuing to develop my veterinary skills and keep going forward.
Right. Um, on that, I mean, talking about the team that you're in, you've got the medicine and the surgery kind of balancing happening. Is there any preference that you were thinking that you would go into when you graduated?
When I graduated, I've really had like a preference for behavior medicine, which I still do. But the other thing is, I do really enjoy surgery as well. So I've really enjoyed that side of things. Um, just doing desexings, but also things like abscesses. And very recently, I've also scrubbed into a lot of extracapsular repairs, which have
Okay.
been really fun and exciting and a cool new surgery to learn as well.
Hmm. Great. Awesome. So you get lots of exposure to all the new things while you're there.
Yeah, yeah. So our clinic works also with a local shelter, where we get a lot of cats coming in through that program. So I've gotten a decent amount of surgical experience as a new grad, which has been great.
Hmm. Brilliant. Awesome. Great. We will come back to your life post university, but we're going to go right back to DVM4 now. So we are, yes, like I said, about to jump into DVM4. How did you stay sane?
Um, I think the hardest part is probably the DVM3 itself. So you guys have gotten through that, which is incredible.
That's a
So
relief. That is an absolute relief because at the moment it's been like it gets harder and harder and harder, and it's like how hard can it get? Yeah.
yeah. So DVM4 will be absolutely incredible. I think it was one of the years that I enjoyed the most out of the DVM program. So it's, I guess, putting all the theory you've learned over the past 3 years into practice going into the fourth year. Um, you get to do sort of some of those extra mural placements that you enjoy. Um, but also the other placements within the uni itself are incredible as well. And you just get to learn so much through them. Um, and all the staff at the uni are incredible as well. You get to learn so much from them as well.
Mhm.
So I did really enjoy DVM4, and I think you all will too.
Great. Okay, so that's amazing for all the good stuff. What were the most challenging aspects?
Challenging aspects.
Yeah, of DVM.
Um, I would say it's a lot more physically challenging and demanding as opposed to all the other years because I guess you're working sort of a decent number of hours at all your sort of university placement, but also at other placements that you do as well. So since you're working a lot more, you will be a lot more tired. So it's very important to take care of yourself in that final year. Drink lots of water and do some other activities as well. Um, and also enjoy that 1 month off, do something cool during that 1 month that you do get off,
Mhm.
and make the most of it.
Yeah, cool. Great. Did you go anywhere? Did you go on a holiday?
No, I mainly came back here to Melbourne with where my family lives. But I did go to the Grampians for some hiking, which was really great.
Yeah, great. Nice. All right. So next question for you. You kind of already answered this, but honing in on it, what do you think was the best aspect of DVM4 for you?
Best aspect would probably just be, I guess, all the practical aspects of it, really. Just, I guess, getting to do what you have always wanted to do, essentially, putting all that theory to test. I really enjoyed all my emergency rotations, which were terrific. I do think you get to learn so much in an emergency setting. So one of my external placements were at an emergency clinic for 1 month, where I learned an immense amount, but also the university rotations as well. Um, I really enjoyed pathology. The few weeks at the Exotics Hospital in Camden were incredible as well. And one of the highlights, I really wish that was a bit longer, because
Yeah,
that was quite an incredible.
it's like a week. It feels like a blip in the calendar,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah. It's just a week, and then yeah, it should at least be a month, in my opinion.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
Yeah,
Yeah, we had that question. I think we had Wendy, a pig specialist, come in, and she's like, "Who wants to do pathology?" And a few people put their hands up. So there are students that want to do that. So
yeah.
that'll be good. All right. Okay. So we're about to do exams, and we've done like I feel like we're just constantly assessed. Like that's every turn we make, we just got another exam. Every week there was one point in first semester where we had an exam. But is it normal with all this studying and all this information coming in? Is it normal for that to feel like it just goes out one end and you just can't get it again? Is that normal?
It's absolutely normal. The same thing happened with me. I feel like after I did some of my Largies exams, since I didn't want to do Largies sort of going forward, some of those information that I did just forget, and I can't recall half of that information now, being 1 year out. But yeah, that's completely normal. What matters is, I guess, you know who to ask. If when you do have some sort of a question or something comes up where you do have a gap in knowledge, or also know of resources where you can look things up as well. So I do find myself, as a new grad, doing that a fair bit as well, whether it means going onto Venn and looking for something that I'm not sure about, or just asking one of the more senior vets at my practice when I'm not really sure about a case or get a very complicated case as well. So yeah, there will always be, I guess, support available for you as a new grad, and it's important to, I guess, seek out that support when you do need it.
Yeah, so on that, with all of the cases that you've got to do and with all this information, like you know where to get it, but how do you deal with there being so much information? Like if you is the overwhelmingness of all of that, how do you manage that?
Um, I guess a lot of it is, for instance, I guess if there's something that comes up in like a consultation, so there's something that you're not sure about. For instance, a client asks you something. Sometimes it's okay to tell them that you're not really sure about that, and that you can get back to them. Or if it's a very complicated case, something that I usually say is I might have a discussion with one of the more senior vets about this, and then we can get back to you on that as well. Um, and then I guess if I'm really struggling with something or want to refill gaps on something that I've sort of forgotten about since vet school, I would go back to my notes and have a read of that in my spare time as well. So your notes during vet school are an exceptional tool. So I would recommend holding on to all of those.
Yeah.
Because I do find myself sort of referring back to them as well when I'm a bit unsure about something in particular.
Yeah, great. I find yeah, I find it actually quite terrifying personally, the idea that you can say to a client, I don't know. Like how do you
Yeah,
deal with that? How do you like deal with the client interface in that regard?
I think sometimes clients really appreciate honesty. So, um, like you're still, I guess, a human being at the end of the day, so you won't know everything. Um, so sometimes they do really appreciate the honesty that comes from you. So um, yeah, I guess it's a bit, yeah, it's a bit of a challenging, I guess, question. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, no, I'm just
Yeah,
finding that yeah, like more and more like we're kind of like as vet students, everyone is a high achiever, really. So we all want to get
yeah,
that answer. And so it's
yeah,
I think it's bigger than just admitting you don't know. I feel like there's a lot of personal stuff, well, for me particularly, like
yeah.
that needs to be maybe I should talk to my therapist about that kind of stuff. But I'm revealing a lot more about myself than I expected in the chat. Um, okay, so on that and insecurities and possibly talking to therapists and all of those things, imposter syndrome is something that pops up a lot. Is it
Yeah.
real? Do you feel it? Is it normal? Or yeah, like how do you expect that, or have you encountered it, and do you expect that it will ever go away?
I do think it's real. I did experience it a bit during my DVM4 placements. It was during one of my placements where my supervisor was quite big on imposter syndrome. I remember getting sort of a resource before the placement where he asked me to fill out this sheet, which was about sort of scaling yourself on imposter syndrome. Essentially, it was a sheet. So you answer a series of questions, and then you see the amount of points you got at the end. And then, so I was sort of like sitting in the middle somewhere as like an imposter. So towards the end of the placements, he sort of asked me how I scored on that sheet. And then what he told me was that to have a think about how much more I know than your average person. So whether it be um, sort of about all the different diseases we know about, or how to the different skills we have, whether it's putting in catheters, intubating patients, performing surgeries, and so on. We know so much. Um, so it's something that we continue to develop as we, I guess,
Mm,
um, as we continue to sort of progress with our veterinary careers. So it's normal to feel that
mm,
way.
mm.
And it is something that's improved with time, and I've just become more and more confident with it. So during DVM4, I did experience it, but I don't really experience it anymore. So it has gone away, especially after hearing that from him. So I think that was sort of a bit of a turning point for me.
Yeah, great. Oh, what a terrifying but excellent resource, like all experience to go through. Like it's
Yeah,
confronting. It's confronting, like to I guess interrogate yourself on that level. But only by
yeah,
doing that can you really see whether or not you can pass through it, I guess.
yeah.
This is just a reminder to everyone listening, if you have any questions, please, you can write them in a little Q&A box at the bottom. I've got plenty more questions to go. But if there's anything that people want particularly answered from Arpan, or if there's anything that they want to throw to Anne, then we can answer them as well. All right. So going back to when you that transition from DVM4 out into the industry, you're currently at Broadford. Um, how difficult or how easy was it for you to get a job at Broadford? Like, what was that process?
Yeah, so I guess the way it worked for me is I was doing one of my placements last year, and the practice owner there, so she brought this up about, she was like, I would have loved to have you, but we don't currently have a position here. And then she said, but I can sort of ask people around that she knows. So what she did for me was she put up a post in sort of a vet owner sort of practice page on Facebook,
Mhm.
sort of telling people about me and whether there's anyone that was looking for a new grad. So I got a few emails through that, and one of those emails was from Broadford Veterinary Clinic. So I went up to Broadford for sort of an interview first, had that. They really liked me. I really liked them as well. And then I asked for a trial day, which I think is really important thing to ask for. So I had 2 trial days at Broadford. It's a good way of getting to know the team, to know about the atmosphere of the clinic and whether it's a place where you'll sort of fit in. I know 2 days a pretty short time, but it does give you sort of a general idea of things. So that's something that I'll highly recommend. So, and also I'll recommend to you guys to also use your placements as an opportunity to see if that could possibly be a place where you would want to work in the future as well. So, and also just network with people, vets at those placements as well, and ask them about possible job opportunities when it does come to sort of the end of your placement or during it.
Yeah, great. That's I find out that you're using the networks that you were able to find a job that way is it kind of goes against like how you would expect to find a job. I guess it's like it's a lot of who you know as well as like following those recruitment pathways that are available as
Yeah.
well. Were there any jobs that you applied for that just weren't suitable for you? Or you got that, like you did that trial day and it just wasn't a match at all?
Yeah, this was actually the first job I applied to, and it just worked out
Great.
perfectly for me.
Perfect.
So I didn't actually apply to many other places, so this was sort of my first interview, and it worked out really
Great.
well for me. So
That's
I think I
that's
just got extremely lucky.
that's the dream, right? You just be like,
Yeah,
take
yeah,
me, and then yeah.
yeah. But
So
I
I
was
yeah, cool.
Yeah, but I was looking at like other places as well, like Kookaburra Vets. I guess those are some other resources where you can try and look for things, or you'll get contacted by a lot of recruiters on LinkedIn as well. If you've not already set up your LinkedIn profile, that's another thing you
Mhm,
guys can do.
mhm.
Um, but yeah, I think I got very, very lucky with how I got my job.
Okay. We've had a few questions pop up, which is kind of
Yeah.
great. I'll answer the second one. I think, like, how soon did you or did people in your year start looking for jobs, or were they, yeah, were some people like proactive, like they went straight from as soon as DVM4 started, as soon as it finished? Like, when in that process of DVM4 did you start actively looking, or others in your year start doing it?
Yeah, so I guess it's a very variety of things. So some people started quite early, sort of towards the middle of DVM4. Some had them already lined up during DVM4. I personally didn't. I waited until the end, almost the end of the year, and then started looking for the jobs. Um, and I don't think you should be in sort of a rush to find a job. I guess it really varies from person to person. I've got some friends that have only recently started working, so they've taken 6 months off, for instance. So I guess it will vary really from person to person. Don't be pressured to sort of look for a job
Mm.
sooner. Just go with the flow, and
Go with the
hopefully
flow.
things will work out.
Yeah. Forge your own path. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We're getting lots of questions, which is so good, and I think that they're actually really they're good ones. Did you have a mentor in DVM4? And what's your advice for utilizing that mentorship to the best of its ability? Like, how can people use that to help them? Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess I didn't have like a mentor as part of like the DVM mentor program, but I did. Anne was one of my mentors, being sort of my advisor for my DVM3 project. Um, yeah, I would say Anne was probably one of my mentors, and I learned a lot from her.
Great. Okay. And what would you say is the best advice that a mentor has given you to date?
I've been thinking about that question.
Full disclosure,
um,
everyone, I told Arpan before we started that I was going to ask a question just like that, because it's quite a big question. Yeah. So, what's your answer?
okay,
Uh,
it would be to remember why I first wanted to be a vet. Was one of the, I guess, the main things that one of my mentors told me.
yeah.
And why I personally started it was to help the voiceless, is how I see our profession as. Um, so that's something that I really think about whenever I do feel a bit down, for instance. So yeah, I would say that was a really good good piece of advice that one of my mentors gave me.
Yeah. Help the voiceless. I like that.
Of the voiceless.
Yeah, yeah. No, do you know what? I have a feeling I might have said something very similar on my application to get into the DVM. Because like
Yeah,
I do like with all the puppetry and all of that, and a lot of the time I'm puppets, they don't talk. So in my
yeah,
head I was like, there's got to be a link between that and helping. And like anyway, I think I used that language of like bringing voice to those that I mean, especially with storytelling on stage, you are telling stories for the voices of people that aren't able to do so. Um,
yeah,
yeah, I think that's very noble and very important to remember that the people we're caring for
yeah,
they need advocates. They're not going to do it themselves.
yeah,
Um,
definitely.
yeah. Um, okay. We've got more questions. Okay, so I think this one harkens back to that relationship with the client that you have that you find. So do you feel that the DVM and your time at university prepared you enough for that relationship with, or that dealing with clients, um, especially the difficult ones, and the upset ones? Like, do you feel like you're prepared enough for those by the time you got out into the industry? And they had a little thing, without breaking client confidentiality, could you think of a time that you had a difficult consult and how you dealt with it?
Okay. So yeah, I do think that Sydney Uni does a great job at preparing us for it through those clinical consultation skills classes that we have. I'm sure you guys probably had them too.
Yeah.
Um, So I think they're terrific at just getting you used to sort of consulting and the structure of consulting as well. Consulting was one of the challenges that I had as a new grad as well. I guess it's mainly about the small talk side of things, but that is something that you do develop more and more with time, and the flow of your consultations will improve with time as well. I do find that there has been a big improvement since when I first started as a new grad to where I'm at now, and my consoles are just flowing so much better. Um, in terms of challenging clients, I do have previous experience working in the fast food industry, so I do have some idea of how to deal with them. I've had a few cases where I guess someone's told me to piss off or so. I guess it's mainly about just staying professional at that point, and um, I guess trying to help the pet, and then um, having a discussion with your. I guess one thing that my clinic brought up at the beginning is about firing clients when they are sort of rude
Mm,
to us. So if it does get to a point where I guess the client is being very disrespectful, that is definitely something um, that could be available as a option for us. So yeah, you do get difficult clients, but um, mostly they can be quite manageable as long as you just try to stay professional.
yep. Yep. Just breathe. Breathe and
Just
take your
breathe.
time. Um,
Yeah.
with the 9 months that you've been, is it 9 months or 7 months? I can't remember how long you've been at.
9 months now.
9 months,
Yeah.
yeah. Over those 9 months that you've been at Broadford, have you found that the these strangers, these clients that you're looking after their animals, and have you found that you're starting to become part of or you're recognizing them, or you're becoming part of the community in that regard? Like, is your yeah, are people recognizing you in the street when you go get a coffee, that kind of thing? Like, is that changing? Like the idea of you being like the new vet to now you feel established.
Yeah, 100%. You start seeing sort of the same clients again and again. So you do become more and more familiar with them. They start recognize your name. Something which was really, I guess, good to hear was when people personally request you as their
Yeah,
vet.
yeah, yeah,
So I guess, yeah, that feels really good when they do ask for you. So yeah, it's really great developing those connections with people. And so, yeah, I've developed some amazing connections. And you do start remembering some clients by name. I know sometimes that can be very difficult, but yeah, once you do start seeing them again and again, being on that name-to-name basis is excellent.
Yeah, great, great. That's nice. It's kind of like, yeah, you all, I don't know, knowing clients' names and being able to recognize each other. I feel like it's just it creates that like you're working together,
Yeah.
essentially, owner and vet. Um, uh, Another question for you about mentorship. Um, what do you think is a key characteristic that a mentor and mentee kind of pairing should have in order to make the most out of that relationship?
Um, I'll say like being able to just express each other and being sort of comfortable to share things with each other as well. I feel like that's very important. Um, I guess something that me and my current mentor at the vet clinic that we do is have sort of reflection meetings every few months, where I'm able to share sort of my views on different things, discuss sort of challenging cases, and also ask for feedback as well. I think asking for feedback is very important too from your mentors, because feedback can really help you to improve. And sometimes asking for it, the person is more likely to give it to you as well, as opposed to them just sort of saying something out of the blue. Um, so yeah,
Mm,
I'll probably say
yeah.
those things.
I feel like that like seeking feedback makes it it opens up permission to
Yeah,
have like a mature conversation around it rather than like it getting, I don't know. I feel like sometimes if I know I personally can feel criticized if somebody says something and I've got to reframe the language, but if you invite it, then you're already in that mindset to be able to deal with it. Yeah,
yeah.
great.
So yeah, that's something I found quite valuable
Yeah,
as a
great.
new grad.
Brilliant. Um, okay. So a bit of a this is a question that as we've been made very aware of this. Probably it's been in the news. It's been like without giving like I need to give context, but it's to do with the struggles of vets, and how vets are leaving the industry quite soon after graduating, and the longevity of a career for a vet can be highly variable. And the question is mostly, do you know anyone from your year who I know you're very fresh into the industry, but has it been talked about amongst all your friends? Like, have you talked about how long you could sustain the career, or is everyone still in this honeymoon period and they're like, great, let's keep going?
Yeah, I would say I guess a little bit in the honeymoon period. I haven't sort of completely like openly talked to anyone about this yet. Um, I've been very lucky with sort of how I've been introduced sort of gradually by my clinic
Hmm.
into things. Um, there have been, I guess, some of my friends who haven't had sort of a similar experiences where they've been thrown more down the deep end straight off the bat, and they found that to be particularly challenging. And I guess finding the right place is very important as a new grad as well. And sometimes we do feel pressured to work at the same sort of clinic, but just know this that it's okay to leave. Um, yeah, so I think that's probably what I
Mm.
would say. So because I guess your well-being comes first. It's always important to give that the priority.
Yeah, yeah, certainly, absolutely. Wellbeing is I mean, we're told like constantly to look after ourselves, and it doesn't end once you finish uni. You got to keep looking after yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when it came to preparing for your first year out, these past 9 months, where do you think the DVM4 where do you think the DVM4 didn't prepare you for? Like what do you wish was in the DVM4 or the experience that you got afterwards that you're like, fuck, I was ready for that. Sorry, I shouldn't have sworn. But yeah.
I don't know, Drew.
That's all right. I
Um,
mean, I'm picking holes in like what we're about to jump into. So, because we've got all these unknowns, right? So we're
yeah,
trying to, I guess for my year, I'm just trying to think how can we like make the most out of DVM4 so that we look back and we're like, oh, I wish I did that. We're minimizing that. Yeah.
yeah. Um, For me, maybe it was like a little bit less ultrasound experience than I would have liked.
Okay.
So I think they've increased that with you guys as you're getting more and more things to do with ultrasound. Whereas with us, it was quite limited. So that's a skill I think I lacked going in as a new grad. It's something that I'm continuing to develop now. So I guess right now it's just about putting a probe on normal animals, but also abnormal animals to see what's normal and what's not. So that's a skill that I didn't particularly get to work on in DVM4, I would say. But it is something that I'm working on now.
Right.
Otherwise, I
But
think
you're getting
DVM4,
opportunities now to look at that. And
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
good. Great.
Um, but yeah, otherwise, I think DVM4 does really set you up quite well going into, I guess, being a new grad.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. I'm very excited. I'm getting more and more excited about DVM4. I already was, but I'm like,
Yeah,
you're selling it to me beautifully. Um,
no, it's an exciting time, DVM4.
yeah, I feel like you're going to be doing it. You're like in the mess of
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
and yeah, the by far like the extramural placements, like the prep placements and all that, have been highlights for me. Like you're just getting messy, going out and
yeah.
playing with animals.
Mhm.
I mean, that's completely undermining our actual role, but I mean, at the moment, it feels like we're playing with animals. So you're, am I right in thinking that you've got a dog?
Yeah, I've got a dog. It's called Tex. He's an Australian Kelpie.
Right, because I did some stalking of you.
Okay.
Yeah, I went to the Broadford website pretty much, and they say that you
Yeah,
have a dog, an Australian Kelpie. Um, so I guess that's a bridge for me to like talk about your work-life balance.
yeah.
How are you managing that at the moment?
I think currently it's been quite well managed. I don't have any like after hours, for instance. I don't work weekends currently as well. I have been going to the gym every day after work, which has
Great.
been an excellent way to just de-stress from things. And then catching up with friends on the weekend. So it's been pretty balanced so far, which has been great.
Yeah, great.
So yeah, very very happy at the moment.
Okay, and so the as far as the work-life balance that you've got right now versus when you were a student, like how was that change going from that to work? Like how did you have like what did you hold on to in terms of that work-life balance, your student life balance that you felt that you needed when you went into the professional life?
Um, I feel like it's better now. I feel like you
Okay,
have less as a student, especially in DVM3.
great.
Um, but I guess friendships as well. So I guess hold on to everyone from uni, and having them as someone to talk to as well. I think that's terrific.
Yeah,
So that's something that I still do. Is we have a group chat where we share everything. So I think that's also an excellent way of um, sort of managing things and um, just talking about things like cases that you have, or any sort of conflicts or anything else or any other struggles that you might have as well. It's sharing that with someone. So I think that's something that's very important.
yeah, yeah. Okay, and that's great because I feel like that's going to kind of influence the next question I've got for you, which just popped up in the chat, which is how do you have any tips for balancing your work student, well, yeah, student life balance, especially in DVM4. So DVM3 you said was one of the more challenging ones, but in DVM4, we're all going to be all over the place, and I feel like there's going to be a shock, I guess.
Yeah.
How did you manage that?
So yeah, in I guess with your more university placements, they will be more intense. But with your sort of extramural placements, they're around 18 days. So you do get a
Hmm.
good chunk of that month off, which is usually pretty good. Sort of around works out to around a week or so, or a sort of 3-4 days. So I usually spend those doing something for myself, whether it be going hiking or just catching up with friends. So I would recommend doing that the same for you guys. And then also that month you have off as well, make the most of that as well.
Great, yeah, that month off. I feel like
Yeah.
everyone can really, yeah. The I don't know if you know this, but they just changed the number of sick days that we can have in DVM4. So I think we can get 5 in total now. I think
Yeah.
it used to be just 1. So
Yeah.
I think they're going to be. I don't even know if it's a sick day. I think it's just a day of leave. You can
Yeah.
use it per rotation, 1 per rotation. So I think we
Yeah.
will be
That's
good.
amazing.
Yeah, yeah, it's good. I think
Yeah.
it's something that I think the DVM4 is currently advocated for, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's a good thing.
Yeah. That's an excellent change.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. I feel like, and knowing, I think we'll get a breakdown about next year as well. But knowing, we already have actually, we've had a placements talk, but knowing what we've got available to us is going to be really important in terms of how we manage our time and have a break when we need it. As far as like uni placements went, like we've got the intramural and we've got the extramural. So we've got the ones on campus and the ones where we get to go out and see the world. Um,
Yeah.
how how different were they for you in terms of like, yeah, how different were they? Yeah.
Um, I feel like the uni ones are a little bit more structured per se, whereas my extramural placements, one of them was completely online, so that was sort of like another month off that I had.
Hey.
And with the other ones, they were mostly in general practices, so it was, I guess, seeing a bit of everything. With some of them giving me a bit more surgical experience than others. One of my placements was in an emergency setting, which was terrific, which I really enjoyed. Got to learn a lot there. So that's something I'd highly recommend. I'm not sure if you've already chosen your placements for next year, but having at least one emergency placement is great. With the uni one, we didn't get too many emergencies. But whereas when I worked the full month at my emergency placement, I did learn so much, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah, good. And were you interested in emergency before then? Like, is that what you thought you would go, that path you would go down? I mean, you mentioned that you were into behavior and surgery, but was emergency ever on the cards as well?
No, that was something, I guess, different that I decided to do, and I
Yeah.
really enjoyed it. So it was something that was recommended to me as well by some other vets that I know. So that's another reason I chose to do it as well.
Great. Yeah, there have I haven't selected any emergency places for next year, and I'm kind of kicking myself now. But I know that I'll be the ones I've got I'm really happy with. But it's yeah, I got a little bit of FOMO actually hearing about all the placements, and you can only really do 4. And so I'm like,
Yeah,
I want all of them.
yeah.
Um, yeah. So there is a question just popped up, and this is a good one actually, because a lot of the stuff we've been talking about has been mostly for the students, the mentees. But do you have any advice for the mentors that are there are a few listening at the moment and have got access to this as a recording? So yeah, any advice for them so that they can, I guess, guide us or help us as much as they can and to the best of their ability?
I'll just say communication is probably the most important thing when it comes to between a mentor and a mentee. Um, Mentee, did I say that right? The DVM
Yeah,
threes.
I think we're the mentee and they're the mentor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, communication would probably be the most important thing. So I'd really recommend just doing that as frequently as possible, as sort of frequently as you can. And yeah, that would probably be my top advice.
We keep the communication channels open. I think that's it, is like yeah, I found like even just in small ways at uni, like dealing with well, not dealing, that sounds like it's a chore, but like communicating with advisors and with teachers, like as long as the communication's there, then most problems can be solved. Um, yeah, great. Um, other questions. I've got other ones. Okay. Let's go with, oh yeah, so we're going to go into your own insecurities and things like that, Pan. So have you made any mistakes?
Yeah, I've definitely made mistakes. I think it's okay to make mistakes as a new grad as well. And I guess learn from your mistakes. So I guess one of the common mistakes that I think most people will make is probably drawing up a medication and then sticking it into the dog and it leaks out the other side. So I did a
Oh
few
yeah.
that a few times. So with some vaccinations, but then also with things like Cyto Point, which can be very expensive.
Okay.
So that does feel bad sometimes.
Mm.
But yeah, that's improved now. So that was probably one of the, I guess, lighter mistakes. Um, but then I guess other mistakes that I've made, just thinking about them now.
It's all right. It's okay to be
Um,
perfect. It's fine. It's
yeah.
yeah. I mean, injecting through. I feel like we were learning about like harmless hits and all those things.
Yeah.
Needless.
Yeah.
I feel like I think
Yep. And then
that makes sense.
yeah.
Um, I mean, other than the cost of it, but yeah. Uh, that's great. I'm glad that you haven't made that many mistakes that have been much more than that. That it's good.
Yeah, going good so far. One
Going
big
great.
recommendation I would have is in regards to drug doses, which I
Yeah.
haven't made a mistake so far because I've got a really good method, is for each of your patients, I would recommend writing the name on your diary, putting the weight, and then writing all of your medications down first before you give them. That's a system that I have in place, which has worked really well so far. So that's
Yeah.
something that I would recommend to you guys as well.
Like writing, yeah, writing everything down, being systematic so that
Yeah,
you don't forget anything and you don't mix anything up. I like that.
yeah.
Yeah. Um, so at your current job at Broadford, how old are the other vets that you're working with? Like what is the age difference there in
They're
terms of
both in their 60s.
okay, so
So,
they're much older.
so yeah, they're much older than me. So, I guess the closest to me are probably the nurses that are more my age. But
Okay.
yeah, but it's a very good team dynamic. We all get along really, really well. And yeah, they're just a wealth of knowledge for me. So, which has been absolutely terrific.
Great.
Um, Recently, I did start doing sort of one day at one of the other clinics in Sunbury,
Mhm.
where yeah, the people are sort of more my age as well. So that's been a bit of a change of scenery, but it's been amazing. So you learn so much just from everyone in this industry, which has been terrific.
Yeah, amazing. That's great. Have you, I mean, it sounds like you've got a great relationship with them as a team. We've got a question here talking about older vets that are overbearing and not letting people do anything. It doesn't sound like that's happening in yours in
No,
your.
no, yeah, they've been very yeah, they've been very easygoing with me, and that hasn't been the case.
Mhm.
I think the other thing they also said to me when they first hired me is that we have a lot to learn from you as well. So as
Oh wow.
being sort of fresh out of the uni, you do have a lot of information and knowledge so that you can share with the more senior vets as well.
Yeah.
For example, antimicrobial stewardship, that's something that I've brought in a
Yeah.
lot more to the practice. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's something that we've worked on as well.
Amazing. So on that, have you felt that those conversations where you've been bringing in new ideas, how have you navigated that?
It's, I guess we do have sort of regular team meetings where we discuss things and I guess bring up things that could sort of change around the practice, where everyone sort of shares their thoughts, and then you sort of try to come up with a potential solution as well. So those discussions have been really good,
Yeah.
and it's really good that everyone's been um, sort of listening to each other, and people's thoughts on different things.
Yeah.
So I think that's quite valuable.
Yeah. Okay. It sounds like it's yeah, the environment's been fostered to allow that conversation to happen. Like I can imagine some in a not so inviting arena for those conversations that it would be quite difficult to bring up those points.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So back to DVM4. Any advice for us in preparing for DVM4? Like, it's a big year ahead. We're about to actually jump into exams, so we're about to continue to squeeze textbooks into our brains.
Yeah.
After that, what's the best advice beyond that in that last month before we start? Like, what is your advice in preparing?
It'll be a lot easier than DVM3. So I think you guys will all be happier about that. There's not really that many sort of assessments and things in DVM4. I'm not sure if they still do that final exam at the end of the year on pathology or not for you guys.
I
But
think
that
they
was the
do. I
case with
think they do.
us.
I don't think it's as intense.
Yeah.
They do it for you. Did you do it last year? Did they do it with you?
Yeah, we did it last year and it
Yeah.
was quite chill. So I'll let you guys know that. So,
Yeah, I think
um,
they did it this year, but they even made it more chill.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was pretty. Yeah. So, yeah, DVM4 is pretty easygoing like that.
Mhm.
Main things really, yeah, it's quite physically exhausting since you're always, since I guess it's more practical as opposed to it being more just sort of sitting in a chair. So, um, drink lots of water, and yeah, just relax after your day's finished. Those would probably be my top
Right.
recommendations. Catch up with your friends on the days that you have off.
Got it.
Um,
Do like, yeah, have a life.
yeah.
Yeah. Did you do the Navly?
No, I did not do the Nevly, but I do have friends that did them.
Mhm.
You will see probably some of your friends as well that will be doing those quizzes throughout the year that they had.
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't do the Nevly, but I do have friends that did do it.
Yeah. What do you, not to speak for them, but how do you think they found it in the preparation and the exam itself?
Yeah, I think most of them found the preparation quite good. I think there were quite a lot of resources available for them, which was excellent. Um, and a lot of them found the um, exam well as well. So yeah, but I'm not sure. You'd have to talk to someone else that's done the NAVLE to
Right.
know the
I had a question on the
details.
here from a student, so I'm like, I'm gonna ask it anyway so that I can tick that box. Because there's a big thing. I mean, I just dropped money to do the vet prep, so I'm like, I'm doing it, and I have no idea what to expect other than an exam where they only give you toilet breaks and maybe one meal break or something. Anyway, it's looming. It's looming and it's very present.
Yeah.
At the same time. All right, so a few more questions and then we'll wrap up because we're getting close to the end of the hour. And so back to what one here. Something actually popped up because we've been asked a lot in many of our assignments actually, and now they've kind of changed university policy so that whenever you use AI, you need to declare it. And we've had some assignments which have forced us to use AI and then critique it and then essentially write an assignment based on what AI gives us. So it's kind of like the university's embracing it. But how have you found AI? Have you found AI kind of integrated into what you're doing? Is there pushback? Is there, are you just embracing it and using it? Like, how has AI influenced what you do currently?
So yeah, I guess AI is being used more and more in the veterinary world. They did talk about it at the AVA conference this year as well, which I went to. And it is sort of an inevitable thing that will be coming into our lives. So we do have to learn to accept it to some extent. Um, the way I've been using it is mainly with consults. I feel like it's really effective with our consults at just sort of listening to us and then turning that into a history for us. So that's been quite terrific. It does really help with writing notes because you will find that you take a lot of time to write them, whereas AI can help you really save some of that time. The other thing I find it really useful for is just helping to write things like discharge letters, and also sort of just summaries for clients. It's very important to just double check everything, including for your histories, but also everything that you sent the client home with. Sometimes it will write a lot of rubbish in there, so
Yeah.
just
So
double check.
those assignments where they're getting us to critique the AI is worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay, one last question before we go, and it's to do with us getting the most out of our placements next year. And it's also kind of that walking that fine balance between being a student, but then also asking and engaging with what's happening in front of you. So any advice for talking to vets and going through consultations and those placements in order to get the most out of it, so it becomes a worthwhile learning experience, or maximizing that learning experience, so you're not just a fly on the wall. A lot of our students, like, actually our year's pretty good, I'm gonna say. We're pretty chatty year, and we do engage, but it's, for some people, it's not. Stepping forward and engaging is a step out of their comfort zone. So any advice for those students, or for me? Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess I'm introverted myself, so that's something that I've struggled with previously too. But asking a question won't really do. It's a good way of learning. So I would really encourage that, especially during your placements. If you're sort of unsure about something, it's completely fine to put a question forward, to get the vet's thoughts on that. For sort of consultations, something that I would recommend, for example, what I did was to read up on that particular thing that the animal's coming in for beforehand, just to refresh everything and my understanding of that. In order to just prepare for those consults a little bit, so you do have some knowledge there that you can rely on. The other thing would be for medicine in particular at Sydney. I recommend rereading through all of those histories. They can be quite long,
Okay.
but what I did for those was create a Google Docs, and to just try to summarize everything from the past, and it does really help with those consultations because they can be a little bit more challenging.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I think just reading up on things beforehand can be really, really useful. Just going into your day during your rotations.
Great. Yeah. Cool. Brilliant. I like that. Prepare. Do some homework.
Yeah.
I mean, we're used to it. We do lots and lots of studying. Um, it kind of sucks that it doesn't actually end, but it's also, I'm very excited for next year and what it has to offer. Thank you so much, Arpan. I feel like this has been incredibly valuable for me, and I hope it's been bloody valuable for everyone else too. And I hope that the mentors as well got something out of this from all of our conversation and all the advice that you've been able to give today. I'm
Thank
going to hand back to Anne. Anne's back. Hi, Anne.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Arpan, for answering so frankly and fearlessly all of those questions. It was a little nerve-wracking for me being the producer because I did not know where that conversation was going to go at times. So that was a bit of a wild ride, and I could see some audience members clinging to the edge of their seats there. Thank you. And I just want to reiterate what you say, asking your mentors questions. There are the list of mentors this year is unbelievable. We have some of the most amazing people. We are so lucky to have you, mentors. If you're on the line or watching the recording, thank you so much. The expertise that's available to our students is incredible. I also do know, and I'm very fond of DVM 3 as well. They're an extraordinary cohort. They really look out for each other, and I think they will make amazing mentees and wonderful DVM 4 students as well. Drew, thank you for your really beautiful vulnerability and genuine questions. And thank you also to the anonymous question askers from DVM3, because I think you've given our mentors some insights into some of those real anxieties about mentees. It's really normal. You're going into this totally different program. It's been all about lectures and exams until now, and then suddenly you're in the world of placements, and that can be a real challenge. So please, 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 mentors, mentees, get in touch with each other, send an email, and, you know, it's okay. Hey, this is what I've been up to. You don't have to have a problem to resolve or anything like that. It's quite okay to just update each other on what you've been up to. The other resource that you have at your disposal is our little handbook. I really have tried to update it. There's a picture on the cover this year featuring the wonderful dog from our school, Grace. She's on the front, but also hopefully some useful up-to-date information, including some questions from the current DVM 3 cohort as well. If you have any problems in the mentoring program, if you're a mentor, please feel free to contact either our alumni team or myself. And if you're in DVM 3/4, because you'll be in 4 very soon, please get in touch with me and I can help you out. It does happen that sometimes in this program people run out of steam. They you know, there's times in our lives when our enthusiasm can sag a little bit, and we maybe aren't as in touch with people. But please remember, just, you know, keep in touch with each other. If someone's been quiet for a while, just check in each month and see, hey, how are things going for you? And usually that's enough to kick the relationship off again. So I suppose that's really my main advice. We will make this recording available. Thank you again, Arpan. We really appreciate you taking the time. And I didn't realize, because I had no idea, because, you know, I've been working, that today was a public holiday for you. So thank you especially for taking your time on a precious day off. And thank you, Drew, because this was your last day of lectures. So instead of celebrating, you're here. So we really appreciate your commitment to your cohort. Thank you.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, we'll sign off now. Thanks, everyone. And please, please, please get in touch with your mentee/mentor and let us know if you've got any concerns. Thank you for being part of this wonderful program. Good night.